Within the extensive Rolex catalog, there exists a timepiece that deviates from the iconic design language that many have come to associate with the brand. This outlier is none other than the Rolex Cellini. In delving into a hands-on review of a watch from the Cellini line, we aim to uncover the reasons behind its distinctive character, and perhaps understand why, in certain respects, it's been perceived as a bit of an outcast within the broader context of Rolex watches. The Rolex Cellini line, as mentioned, stands somewhat apart from the broader Rolex offering. Its name pays homage to the renowned Italian goldsmith and sculptor from the Renaissance. However, to trace the true origins of this watch, we must delve into the development of a Rolex release from 1928 known as the Rolex Prince. This model emerged shortly after the iconic Rolex Oyster case, designed to complement the sportier models with a rectangular Art Deco style watch. While the Rolex Prince didn't achieve widespread popularity, it did have a production run for 20 years. The watch featured an hour and a second style, earning it the informal moniker Doctor's Watch due to its precision and the prominent sub-seconds, facilitating the monitoring of patients' pulses. Throughout the mid-20th century, the Rolex Cellini line could be characterized as somewhat random, marked by different styles that hinted at the watch's struggle to capture mass appeal. Nevertheless, this doesn't diminish the fact that the line offered some unique pieces. While lacking a consistent theme, it led to more adventurous offerings such as the Cellini Prince with the platinum case. The Cellini line remained somewhat overlooked by Rolex until 2014, when the company reintroduced a new collection of Cellini models. This leads us to the watch I currently possess, a Rolex Cellini Time Reference 50505. Ever since encountering one of these watches, I've been intrigued by its place within the entire Rolex lineup and the broader landscape of elegant dress watches in this price range. The case size of the Rolex Cellini Time Reference 5505 is 39mm, with a thickness of 11mm. It houses the Rolex Automatic 3132 movement, offers water resistance up to 50 meters, and features a domed sapphire crystal. The Rolex 3132 movement boasts a 48-hour power reserve. Examining the actual case of the watch, it features a fluted bezel with smaller ribs compared to many oyster-cased models. The upper portion of the bezel has a dome that is the first to meet the crystal, giving the fluted bezel a more subtly integrated appearance compared to other counterparts within the Rolex lineup. This design contributes to the watch's overall elegance, in my opinion. Flipping the watch around reveals a solid case back, following the typical Rolex fashion. While the dial suggests a hand-finished dress watch that could benefit from a fully exposed movement, the automatic 3132 movement and the likelihood that it isn't extensively decorated like watches from Lange or Vacheron Patek means we might not miss out entirely. Additionally, the rotor would conceal most of the movement. Despite its 39mm case size, the watch wears relatively small on the wrist, comparable to a traditional 36mm oyster case. The lug-to-lug height is 45mm, evident when worn on the wrist. For reference, the wrist size in the demonstration is 6¼ inches. The watch comes with a leather alligator strap, complemented by an 18-karat gold Rolex buckle matching the case. Dial. Turning our attention to the dial, we encounter a distinctive design. At first glance, it might be challenging to identify this as a Rolex, except for the brand name on the dial. The dial features a unique combination of slim Roman numerals at 12, 3, 6, and 9, along with split applied indices at the other hour markings. The minute numerals are housed within the shorter Dauphine-style hands. The hands work well in this case, especially with the minute markings closer towards the center of the dial. However, one small nitpick is that if you glance away while looking down at the watch, it might be a bit challenging to identify as both hands are slightly shorter than those on many other watches, making it potentially harder to differentiate between the hour and minute hands due to their comparable overall size. Nevertheless, this is a minor point. At the 12 o'clock position, there's a traditional Rolex logo with the iconic crown above it. This is balanced out by the cursive writing of Cellini at the 6 o'clock position in white, matching the color of the Roman numerals on the dial. The Dauphine hands are black, although they are available in different color options. Personally, the presenter leans towards the white variations, but the black dial works exceptionally well with the Everose case. This watch's intriguing aspect lies in its position within Rolex's lineup and the broader luxury watch market. Priced at $15,200, it tends to be overlooked by many luxury watch enthusiasts. Despite being a fantastic looking piece that adds a unique touch to the Rolex line, the question arises, who is the target buyer for this watch? Does it offer enough to divert a potential buyer from brands like Lange, Patek, or Vacheron? Alternatively, does it provide a distinct proposition for a Rolex buyer seeking something different from the steel sports lineup? The challenge lies in understanding why people choose Rolex watches. While watch enthusiasts may prioritize the love for timepieces over status, the mass appeal market where most Rolex buyers reside often seeks the status associated with owning a Rolex. Does the Cellini Time fulfill this need for status while remaining reasonably priced? This dilemma may explain the model's struggles, which, in the presenter's opinion, is unfortunate as it's considered one of the most beautiful Rolex watches. The worth of these watches is subjective and varies based on individual preferences. If purchasing pre-owned, it's worth noting that Rolex Cellini watches may not command as much on the secondary market, presenting an opportunity for buyers to capitalize on lower prices compared to retail. This is a distinctive feature as many Rolex models tend to hold their value well. While the Cellini Time line may not carry the same status element as other Rolex watches, it offers an elegant dress watch option. For those seeking an elegant timepiece without necessarily prioritizing the Rolex status, the Cellini Time watches become interesting options, especially when found at more affordable prices on the secondary market. The hope is that the Cellini Time line gains more attention, but it's also essential that Rolex continues to recognize and appreciate the uniqueness these watches bring to the brand, avoiding relegation to the sidelines. Despite Rolex's consistent design choices over the years, the Cellini Time line stands out for its distinctiveness, adding diversity to the brand's offerings. What are your thoughts on this watch? Would you consider purchasing it if you had the means, and how does it compare to brands like Patek, Lange, or Vacheron in your opinion? Share your comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Thank you for watching, take care, and see you soon.